playoff atmosphere is unmistakable here at cold and windy Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. So much is riding on the outcome of this game between two longtime and often bitter rivals as the New York Giants take on the Philadelphia Eagles. And it exploded before the game. About 45 minutes when the teams took the practice field, there was shoving and arguing on the field. These teams do not like each other, setting the stage for this encounter. I'm Dick Stockton with Troy Aikman and Darrell Johnson. It's been a long time coming, but the Eagles can clinch their first division title since 1988 with a victory over the Giants today. The Giants, a team whose playoff hopes are now down to this. They must win their last two games and hope that the Eagles lose their last two. And it starts today, a must game for the Giants and their head coach Jim Fossil, who's with Pam Oliver.
All right, Jim, obviously a lot on the line here. We've already seen some emotions spill over. Can you talk about some of the things you talked with your team about before you headed out?
Well, we came out on our own. We skipped the introductions. We wanted to be out here for the national anthem, and I just said we're going to do this on our own terms. The game just about started a little early in warm-ups, but we got them separated.
What about Kerry Collins? What does he need to do? We've seen a couple of heroic comebacks from him. What does he need to do against that very tenacious defense today?
He needs to be patient. He needs to let the game unfold and let the defense be a part in our offense. The guys make plays, and don't try to make every play a big play. Just let things unfold for him.
All right, Jim Fossil, thanks a lot. Let's go back upstairs to Dick.
All right, Pam, and Kerry Collins the last 2 weeks engineering those late drives for wins. And, of course, the old swagger seems to be back with the Giants, Moose, and they have gained so much confidence coming into this game.
They really did, and they were really deflated just a few weeks ago with that loss to Dallas. I think a lot of people on the New York Giants football team felt that they had played themselves out of playoff contention, but obviously the emotion that we saw earlier today as the game started, you can tell about the playoff atmosphere here. And talking to Michael Strahan yesterday, he said that's just a bonus because regardless of what was going to happen today, he just wants to beat Philly because he hates Philadelphia. And that's the type of game we're going to see today. And getting back to Kerry Collins on the offense, they dominated this team the first time they played in the first half, had an opportunity to put the game away, but they weren't successful in the red zone. Look for Ike Hilliard and Tiki Barber to become big players down near the goal line.
All right, Moose, and the Giants have won 4 straight here at the Veterans Stadium against an Eagle team, Troy, that had an opportunity to wrap things up last week against San Francisco. So their psyche may be a bit fragile coming into this game. What does it come down to for the Eagles?
Well, in my opinion, this game really comes down to the quarterback position, number 5, Donovan McNabb, and he has an opportunity to make a statement here. I believe in every player's career, they play in games that are defining games. This is clearly a defining game for Donovan McNabb. He's going to be playing against a team that he has not particularly played well against, and they have an opportunity to win a division title. He is, however, going to need some help. He's going to need some help at the wide receiver position with James Thrash and Todd Pinkston. They're going to be working against 2 young corners, rookie corners of the New York Giants in Will Allen and Will Peterson, and how well they're able to perform is going to go a long way in determining the success of Donovan McNabb today.
The Eagles beat the Giants 10-9 in October, ending a 9-game losing streak to the Giants. So here it is, the big one coming up for both teams. The wind chill, 20 degrees as we get underway here in the late afternoon in Philadelphia. Capacity crowd on hand. The Giants have won the toss, and Jonathan Carter, 5th-round draft pick from Troy State, inactive all year, getting his first opportunity in this big game, returning the kickoff. And David Akers puts it in the air, and the game is underway. And the kick is returned at the 10-yard line by Carter. And Jonathan Carter, who has shown in practice, brings it out. A 31-yard return. Now let's bring you up to date on scores of the earlier games. The Green Bay Packers leading the Minnesota Vikings, and Miami ahead of Atlanta, which would clinch things for Tampa Bay in the wild card race. And the other games, Buffalo leading the New York Jets 14-9, and Dallas upsetting San Francisco 27-21. The Bears over Detroit 24-0. 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line, and Ron Dayne testing the middle, and maybe a yard. That's all. The offensive unit for the Giants. The offensive line. Lomas Brown, the veteran. In fact, they all are veterans, other than Luke Pettigrew at right tackle. Amani Toomer and Ike Hilliard, the wide receivers. Tiki Barber has been seeing more and more action in the Giant attack as of late. Kerry Collins, the quarterback, celebrating his 29th birthday today. Barber in the lineup, and the pitch goes to Tiki Barber off the left side. And Barber is stopped short of the 40-yard line by Carlos Emmons. The Eagles have allowed the fewest points in the National Football League. Hugh Douglas. Hollis Thomas injured his foot in practice, replaced by Paul Grassmanis. Simon and Whiting also up front. Mike Caldwell, Jeremiah Trotter, and Carlos Evans all have 100 tackles this year. Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent are the corners. Damon Moore and Brian Dawkins at safety. 3rd down and 6. And the Giants send Hilliard in motion to the right. Collins looking left. And this pass is incomplete, going to Amani Toomer. And the Giants are 3 and out on their first foray.
Well, not a great way to start the game for the New York Giants offensively. The Giant offensive line does a nice job of protecting Kerry Collins there. Amani Toomer has a chance to make the play in front of Damon Moore. And this is something that they had problems with, these Giants receivers, 2 weeks ago against Arizona. And a real critical drop right there.
Rodney Williams will punt for the Giants. And the ever-dangerous Brian Mitchell is back deep for the Eagles. And running up to make the play is Mitchell, calling for the fair catch shy of the 30-yard line. For the Philadelphia Eagles, in front of Donovan McNabb, their offensive line, Trey Thomas, John Welburn, Hank Fraley the center, with Jermaine Mayberry and John Runyon, who's going to be going against Michael Strahan. Deuce Staley, the running back, James Thrash and Todd Pinkston are the wide receivers, and Chad Lewis, a tight end, and the Eagles looking to get him into play. First down on the 28-yard line for Donovan McNabb. Play action, passing on first down, and the pass caught by Chad Lewis, and Lewis breaks away into Giant territory, and finally brought down on the 41-yard line by Jesse Armstead.
A great start by Donovan McNabb. He's going to be a guy that really builds on confidence. They do a good job of picking up Sam Garnes here with the pressure on the backside. And then Chad Lewis gets a little bit of separation from Jesse Armstead, but here's what he does best, running after the catch.
Yeah, then you take a look at Strahan working against John Runyon. We're going to be talking a lot about that matchup. Strahan's able to still get in and get pressure on Donovan McNabb.
31-yard pickup, first down on the 41-yard line. Terrell Buckhalter is in the game along with Deuce Staley, and the pass thrown underneath to Chad Lewis, and he makes his second catch and a gain of about 4. The Giant defensive line, we've seen Strahan joined by Cornelius Griffin, Keith Hamilton, and Kenny Holmes. Jesse Armstead, Mike Barrow in the middle, and Brandon Short, the other outside linebacker. And the 2 rookies that Troy referred to, Will Peterson and Will Allen, at the corners, with Sean Williams and Sam Garnes at safety. And the give is to Deuce Staley, and the Giants are there, and a flag goes down. Our first penalty of the game after the pickup of 2 yards. Jerry Austin is the referee, and it'll be a penalty against the Eagles.
Illegal use of hands to the face. 76 on the offense. 10 yards. Repeat second there.
So John Welburn, the left guard, and a 10-yard penalty against the Eagles.
And that was a big problem last week against San Francisco. John Welburn right here, your left guard, is going to be cutting across. He's going to get his hands up into the face mask and push. You can see right there, he's not getting that hand off. You're going to get a flag on that. And Andy Reid was very upset about his team last week, letting the emotion of the game get away from him. He thought all the penalties were fair, but he talked to his team all week. They can't have those careless penalties again.
Season high, the penalties against the 49ers. Second down and 16, and on the end around, James Thrash going down the middle, and Thrash picking up good yardage. Will still be about 5 yards shy of the first down as Griffin and Hamilton combine to make the stop. A little fancy play by the Eagles to try to get in field goal range, at least for David Akers.
Well, that's been the thing that has hurt them as far as the penalties that they had on that last play. The hands to the face, what sits them back, and they're just trying to get enough yardage to make this third down a makeable down, and that they were able to do on the reverse.
3rd down and 5. And McNabb dropping back. Gets away. And McNabb's pass, and it's caught first down. Fumbled out of bounds, but not before the completion by the rookie Freddie Mitchell. The Eagles' first-round draft pick covered by the Giants' nickelback Emmanuel McDaniel.
This is going to be interesting to watch as the game progresses. Jim Fossil talked to his defensive guys about rushing and contained rush lanes. Don't let Donovan McNabb get out of the pocket. But Michael Strahan said that he did not want to play that way. He has to keep his aggression. And you saw right there Donovan being able to get out and get that ball to Freddie Mitchell.
15-yard pickup. First down on the 21-yard line. Another play fake, and McNabb looking for a receiver, trying to escape, and he completes the pass to Lewis, just shy of the first down. He stays in bounds. So Chad Lewis already with 3 receptions on this impressive drive by the Eagles.
Well, the guys up front, Dick, they do a nice job of containing him and not giving Donovan McNabb any lanes to run the football. But what that creates is that these DBs have got to be able to maintain coverage much longer than what they normally would. You watch Donovan McNabb, he buys himself some time. The defensive line does a nice job clogging up the holes right there. But then these corners are put in a tough position to try to cover for that long.
4 for 4 for McNabb and 60 yards. And it's second down and 1. And McNabb calling timeout. The Eagles struggling in the red zone against the 49ers last week. Want to make this count. We'll be right back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36.
Back here at Veterans Stadium, the Philadelphia Eagles on a drive, and Andy Reid, who told us yesterday that he thought his team a little over-anxious last week against the 49ers, wanted them more on an even keel attitude coming into this one.
Well, so far watching them on this drive, they've been able to take that approach into here. And, you know, the red zone, this were an area they had problems last week, but overall this season they've been very effective.
Second down and 1 after the timeout. Eagles on the Giant 12, and here's Deuce Staley, and Staley gets to the 10 and inside the 10 for a first down. Mike Barrow, the middle linebacker, on the tackle as Pinkston and Will Peterson have to be separated.
Well, this is the direction that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to run. They want to go towards Kenny Holmes, who's right here. And one of the other things they talked about was doubling Keith Hamilton. You can see John Welborn getting on him and then moving right up here to the backer. So that's an effective play in the running game, which has been a problem for him the last 6 weeks.
So it's first and goal at the 8-yard line, and there's the fade pass that is overthrown. Pinkston was well covered by Sean Williams and Will Peterson. So the Eagles, knowing they can clinch the division against their major rivals today. Giants a bit disappointed in the fact that Tampa Bay beat Baltimore, because the Giants, had the Ravens won last night, would have controlled their own destiny for either a wild card berth or a division title. So they're going to need help and win the games. But it's second down and goal on the 8. Jeff Thomason, the tight end, in motion, and McNabb getting time, and the pass caught at the 6 by Chad Lewis and ridden out of bounds by Jesse Armstead after a pickup of 4.
Well, what we've seen in this drive already is that Chad Lewis has not been a guy who's been as big a part in this offense this season as what he was a year ago. There's a lot of various reasons for that. The receivers on the outside are doing a better job, but coming into this game, the Eagles knew that they had to get Chad Lewis more involved. He's already caught, that was his 3rd pass on this drive alone, and now they're facing 3rd and goal.
3rd down and goal. And the Giants looking to hold the Eagles to a field goal attempt. The ball at the 5. And Mitchell going in motion. And Donovan McNabb's pass up the middle. And it's a touchdown to Chad Lewis. No secret, the Eagles going to their tight end Chad Lewis, and Donovan McNabb superb on this first drive by the Eagles, who move in front 6-0.
Well, you take a look at Chad Lewis. They're getting a release off Mike Barrow. Man-to-man coverage. Donovan McNabb throws at the only place it can be thrown for a reception. Nice play, Philadelphia Eagles.
And the 5th touchdown catch by Lewis. David Akers for the extra point. It's good. And the Philadelphia Eagles Donovan McNabb finding Chad Lewis and drawing first blood against the Giants. A superb scoring drive by the Eagles, and Chad Lewis tying a season's high already with 5 catches, including the 5-yard touchdown grab. He caught 5 in the Eagles' opening game against the St. Louis Rams. And now the Giants looking to respond. Jonathan Carter, who is replacing Ron Dixon, and Dixon has been relegated to the bench, is active for this game after problems he's had in returning kicks. There is David Akers as the Eagles leading 7-0, trying to end the Giants' 4-game winning streak here at Veterans Stadium. And a deep kick into the end zone, and it'll be down for the touchback by Carter. So the Giants will start from the 20, Kerry Collins, and the Giants trail 7-0. 7-0, the Eagles lead the Giants before the game. The plan was to have both teams not on the field for the national anthem, but the Giants refused, and they said they wanted to be on the field. And there they were, the only team to be on the field during the national anthem. Jim Fossil referring to that in talking with Pam Oliver before the kickoff. But now the Giants starting from the 20-yard line. Tiki Barber is the tailback. Hilliard goes in motion, and the screen to Amani Toomer, and Toomer picking up about 2. Troy Vincent on the coverage.
Well, here's a look at the touchdown. You look at Mike Barrow here. He's got Chad Lewis one-on-one with no safety help. He cannot allow Chad Lewis the inside. You watch it here. Chad starts out, gets him moving, gets back up inside. No safety help. It gives a lane for Donovan McNabb to get the ball to him. And then you take another look here at the release that Chad's able to put on him. And that is what created the separation for the touchdown.
2nd down and 8, and now Toomer moving wide to the left. The Eagles showing blitz. Tiki Barber breaks the tackle and carries it out to within 2.5 yards of the first down. Carlos Emmons was there to make the tackle. Paul Grassmanis is playing defensive tackle, coming back after missing 2 games with a knee injury, and he has had to come in there in an emergency because Hollis Thomas broke his foot running out for pregame introductions and is unable to play. Do you guys ever hear of an injury like that?
Had a guy pull a hamstring, but never a broken foot.
I don't know that they got the turf situation solved here in Vet Stadium.
You bring up a good point. 3rd down and 3. A lot of movement by the Giants, and on the rollout, here is Collins, and the pass is tipped and incomplete. The Giants with 2 receivers in the same neighborhood, and it was Troy Vincent who got a hand on it, and once again the Giants have to kick after going 3 and out.
Well, that's one of the things that Jim Fossil talked to Pam Oliver about, and Kerry Collins has got to remain patient, and they have a nice play here with the play action, but there's nowhere to go with the ball. Just throw it out of bounds. He throws his ball into a group of about 5 Philadelphia Eagles trying to get the ball to Joe Jaravicius. That's the thing that he cannot afford to do this afternoon.
And there were 5 Eagles because there were 2 receivers. So here's Rodney Williams on the punt, and he shanks it off to the right. And the Eagles will let it bounce. It goes out of bounds at the 43 of Philadelphia. So this has a definite Philadelphia tinge, this first quarter does. The Eagles lead the Giants 7-0.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By UPS, the official delivery company of football fans everywhere. By Sonic Care, advanced technology for whiter, healthier teeth. And by Autotrader.com, the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
The Eagles have not lost 2 in a row all season. Coming off a loss at San Francisco and have good field position beginning from their 44-yard line. Terrell Buckhalter is the tailback. Donovan McNabb the quarterback. Giants showing blitz and putting pressure on McNabb, who delivers again to James Thrash, whose reception just short of midfield, good for 5 yards on the play. Well, the NFL on Fox next weekend, which will be the final regular season weekend, the Packers and the Giants. Most of you will see that game. Packers winning today and the Giants hoping to survive. And the Falcons against the Rams. Rams with another big game against the Indianapolis Colts, headed for that #1 seed in the NFC. McNabb already 7 of 8, 1 touchdown pass, 2nd down and 5, and the handoff to Deuce Staley off the left side. Staley will get the first down as he goes out of bounds at the Giant 44, chased there by Sean Williams.
And there's Jamie Reeder, number 34. He's going to get a little bit more playing time today because Cecil Martin's got a bad shoulder. Here he is here. Watch him come out, but he's going to look back inside for the scraping linebacker, Michael Barrow. That's a great job of sealing off the pursuit from the inside. It's an area that Andy Reid has been concerned about. Cecil is he's not 100%, and it's starting to show on the field. So Jamie Reeder's going to get a long look today.
Jamie Reeder playing behind Cecil Martin, 1st and 10 at the 44, and Kenny Holmes gets behind the line of scrimmage to greet the Eagle backfield, and of course the penalty flags fly.
Made it to the quarterback, 90 of the defense, 5 yards, still first down.
So the 5-yard penalty will give the Eagles position at the 39 of New York.
Well, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles and what they've been able to do this early in the ball game. Their last meeting, they really struggled in the first half. Were unable to get anything going offensively. Today, Donovan looks very comfortable in the pocket. He's sitting up. He's making good throws. They're running the football. The game's really going the way that they would hope to this early in the game.
1st down and 5 at the 39, and McNabb, who's been right on the money, completes to James Thrash, and the Eagles pick up another 1st down. Will Allen making the tackle.
One of the battles that's within the battle today is John Runyon versus Michael Strahan, and the one thing that John Runyon said he has to be careful with is his technique, and right there he had great technique to keep Michael Strahan out.
Yeah, and you got James Thrash working against rookie Will Allen, and we talked about it, that this is one of the big matchups. These receivers against these rookie corners, they have to win those matchups, as James Thrash did there.
103-12 in the total yardage. 1st down on the 30. 3 wide receivers. And the hard count by McNabb, who's put down by Michael Strahan at the 40-yard line. So Strahan wins that battle, and that is his 19th sack of the year, leading the NFL and trying to chase.
Well, you take a look at Michael Strahan, and he's coming off the ball, and he just gets an inside release on John Runyon. John Runyon talked to us yesterday. He knew that that was something he could not afford to do, is to give the inside lane, and yet that's what happened.
Well, I think that there was a miscommunication right there, because it looked like John thought he had some help from Jermaine Mayberry.
Strahan now a sack and a half away from the Giant record set by Lawrence Taylor. So on the pass play, and the linebackers blitz, a fumble, and the loose ball, and the Giants have it. Mike Barrow forced the fumble and recovers it for the Giants in Eagle territory. So the sack by Strahan, and the Giant defense becomes aroused and get the ball back in Eagle territory, trailing by 7.
Well, Mike Barrow was involved in the big play last week against the Seattle Seahawks, knocking the ball loose, which allowed Michael Strahan to take it in for the touchdown. He comes up with another big play here, stripping Donovan McNabb, knocking it out of his hands and getting the fumble.
Actually looked like it was a little role reversal. Looked like Strahan came in and put his helmet right on the football, and then Michael Barrow was able to get it this week. So returning the favor from last week's game.
Giants now at the 48 of the Eagles, and the handoff is to Tiki Barber. And Barber driving and getting about 6 yards on the play. Barber, who might have been the only Giant rooting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last night. His brother Rondé with the team winning, and I'm sure Rondé Barber must be rooting for his brother today against the Eagles. And an injured player is Hugh Douglas, the Eagles' leading pass rusher, and over 8 sacks a game. So they've lost Hollis Thomas. Hugh Douglas is injured, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jim Fossil of the New York Giants. On behalf of Wellington Mara, Bob Tisch, and our entire football organization, we'd like to wish our military troops a Happy New Year. And thank you for serving our country and protecting our freedom.
Happy New Year! And before the game, the ex-mayor of New York, Rudy Giuliani, greeting Jim Fossil. The Giants, of course, have spent many days making trips down to Ground Zero immediately after that tragedy. And, of course, from their practice field, you could see where the Twin Towers used to be. 2nd and 5 for the Giants on the Eagle 43. N.D. Kalu superior pass rusher in the game. The handoff is to Barber, who fumbles, and the Eagles get it back. Dalen Moore recovers the fumble, and the Giants miss out on the opportunity on Barber's miscue.
Well, that's one of the things that this Philadelphia Eagles defense has been able to do all season long. When the offense has sputtered or done something, they've been able to make a huge play right behind that to generate the momentum back to their team. And Tiki Barber, he's got the ball tucked away. He didn't do anything wrong right there. That's just a nice job of the defense coming down the line and getting him from behind.
And it might have been Paul Grassmanis. It was Corey Simon who caused the fumble, knocking it out of Barber's hands. 18th fumble recovery. Eagles getting it back on their 31-yard line. Correll Buckhalter with his first carry of the game, and a nifty run for Buckhalter, a first down. Buckhalter picking up 12 yards before Griffin downfield makes the stop.
Well, let's see the hustle. This is Corey Simon all the way out here. He's going to chase this thing. Actually, he was even farther out. You see him there, number 90, coming from behind, and that's what this defense is all about. Not only do they do the blitz packages and stuff, but these guys can run and they get to the ball, and good things happen when you're around the football.
Buckhalter, the second leading rusher behind Deuce Staley for the Eagles. He remains in the lineup, first and 10 at the 43, and Buckhalter running right into Mike Barrow and a gain of 2. And right now, for a Fox game break, let's check in with James Brown. Jamie.
Dick, show you how the Jets did not clinch today. That's because they lost to Buffalo when Alex Van Pelt hooked up with Mr. Fearless Price. That did it in. Buffalo wins at 14-9. Big day for Marshall Faulk. 4 touchdowns. St. Louis wraps up the West. Congratulations to the Rams. 42-17. Back to Dick, Troy, and down.
One upset and one expected game. Hugh Douglas, by the way, with a stinger, and he will be back on the defensive line for the Eagles. Pump fake by Donovan McNabb, and going deep and getting tripped up, and no flag is thrown. Todd Bigston downfield, covered by Sean Williams. And it would have to be incidental contact, both going after the football, apparently.
Well, they got Todd Pinkston working a double move against Will Allen, and then he's able to get by Sean Williams, the safety. I think it's a good no call. They got their feet tangled up, and that's why he went down, but I didn't see pass interference on the play. That was a nice job by the officials not making the call there.
Well, the way this crowd can get sometime, if you're the officials, you don't want them coming down on you. Third down and 8 now for McNabb on his 45-yard line. McNabb running and passing on the run, and this pass is ruled a catch by Todd Pinkston at the 41 of the Giants, and another Eagle first down.
Well, Howie Long talked about this in the pregame show earlier today. He talked about them maintaining the pocket up here. Watch, everything collapses inside. There's nobody out here. Donovan's got all that room to work and find an open receiver.
Yeah, and he probably could have ran for more yards than what he actually got with the completion right there. As you mentioned, there was nobody out in front of him at all. Just a lot of green grass.
Eagles running up in a hurry to snap the ball in case the Giants had challenge on their mind. And the handoff is to Buckhalter, getting running room on the outside. Correll Buckhalter. Tremendous speed for a gain of 23 yards, and the Eagles marching again have a first and 10 inside the Giant 20.
Well, what makes it all happen is you're going to see the blocking by the wide receivers coming down right there. Freddie Mitchell blocking right here, and he ties them up, which allows Deuce Staley to get out on the edge. There's another look at it right there. Freddie Mitchell getting the block on Sean Williams, and that's a nice job by a wide receiver allowing the running back to get some open space to run.
First and 10 at the 18, and the handoff is to Deuce Staley, and he is stopped by Jesse Armstead. And a loss of 2 on the play. The Giants still looking for their first down of the game. And the Eagles have had a field day in this first quarter, guys, with 9 first downs, totally dominating with under a minute remaining.
And what a reversal from the first time these two teams played, when the New York Giants dominated the first half of play, but unable to score touchdowns. They settled for 3 field goals. Philadelphia already on their first possession down there, getting a touchdown.
And a second one would be huge, but the Eagles face second down and 12. McNabb in trouble and tripped up. And it's Michael Strahan, who now has 2.5 sacks and has tied Lawrence Taylor for the all-time Giant record.
Well, you knew talking to Michael Strahan yesterday, he was pretty cranked up about this matchup against John Runyon. He bowls over him with a little rip move and is able to get just enough of Donovan McNabb's leg to get him to come down.
That's the thing that really surprises me. A lot of people think that Michael Strahan is a speed rusher, but you see a lot of the production he has, and he told us this also, is when he uses the power moves in his arsenal.
And because there was a gain on the play, it will not count as a sack, but don't count out Michael Strahan playing inspired football. But it's been all Eagles the end of the first quarter. With the score, the Eagles 7 and the Giants nothing. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages. Again, the second quarter here at Veterans Stadium, the Eagles lead the Giants 7-0, and they have now officially credited Michael Strahan with a sack. So he has indeed tied Lawrence Taylor with 20.5, matching the all-time Giant record. 3rd and 13, and the pass underneath to Deuce Staley, and he is tackled at the 25, bringing up 4th down. And again, they have to separate the players. And it's Deuce Staley for the Eagles, and the Giants with Sean Williams in the middle of the pack. Now, when we saw the kickers attempting field goals in practice, they were going into the wind in this direction. And both Owen Potchman and Akers struggled in trying to convert from as close in as 30 yards. And this will be a 43-yard attempt by Akers to try to give the Eagles a 10-0 lead. Into the wind, the 43-yarder, and David Akers with the kick, and it is off to the left, no good. So the Giants will get it back, and the fumble by Tiki Barber. Giants avoid further trouble as Akers pushes it out to the left. Still 7-0 in favor of Philadelphia.
You're at a stoplight. You're making a turn. You're pulling into traffic. There are a lot of reasons every 2002 Saturn L Series comes standard with head curtain airbags. Those are just a few. The Saturn L Series.
Get 0% APR financing on select 2002 S or L Series models. For restrictions, see your retailer.
You're liable to hear the French say they know a thing or two about champagne. Well, if Francois knows so much about champagne, how come he never figured out how to put it in cans? Happy New Year from the champagne of beers. Here's wishing you and yours a happy and prosperous high life.
Request backup unit. Where you headed?
Police business! Back on!
You got it!
If I split my pants!
Ow, dude, you don't need change for collect calls. Just dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you and cheap for them.
Hey, buddy. This is my show.
Frisk me, cuff me, call me Shirley.
Save big bucks on every call. Just dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Saturn, now with 2 distinctively different car lines, the L Series and S Series. By 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. By Blockbuster, bringing entertainment home. And by Miller High Life.
David Akers' kick off to the left, but mostly short, and that ends his club record of 17 consecutive field goals, and the Giants with the ball on the 34-yard line, trailing the Eagles 7-0. Hugh Douglas is back on the defensive line for the Eagles, came out with a stinger, has returned. 1st and 10 at the 33. Greg Camella going in motion, and the handoff is to Barber, and Tiki Barber getting 4 yards on the play. So much at stake in this game for the Eagles. They can clinch the NFC East title with a win or a tie, and the Giants must win their final 2 games. That's today and next week against the Packers at home. The Eagles, of course, would lose if the Giants were to win today, and then hope that the Eagles lose to Tampa Bay next Sunday night. The Buccaneers have already clinched the 6th seed as a wild card in the playoffs in the NFC. 2nd down and 5 at the 38-yard line. Jurevicius coming in motion. And the handoff to Barber, and Barber is close to the 1st down. And the Giants keeping it on the ground in this 1st quarter, unlike the Eagles who went to the air.
And one of the things that this Giants team has been able to do, they've been able to get big runs against Philadelphia's defense. And as you watch, because of the blitzing, they get great angles with their offensive linemen. On that last play, Jeremiah Trotter, he's a guy that likes to attack the A-gaps, and they'll be able to come down with a guard or even a tackle sometimes and pin him to the inside and create big running lanes.
Yeah, and Sean Payton, he talked to us and said that they want to run along that right side, which is what they were able to do there with Tiki Barber, and they window dress a lot of it with a lot of shifts and a lot of motion.
Giants with their first down of the game on the 43-yard line, and there is the screen to Greg Camella, the Giant fullback, driving forward and then pushed down at the 49-yard line by safety Brian Dawkins. So the Giants picking up 5 on 1st down.
Well, these are two teams that both like to use the screen plays in their offense. Whenever they need to get something going, what the Giants clearly do at this stage, they're going to rely on the screen, and there's Sean Payton, the offensive coordinator for the Giants, and he does a nice job of mixing things up offensively, both run and pass, and then sprinkling in some of the screen plays that we just saw.
Giants moving their receivers from right to left, and on 2nd and 6, here is Barber. Barber going outside, and Jeremiah Trotter coming in and getting Barber in a loss of 4 yards, as you were talking about Moose seconds ago.
Well, he's the guy that you really need to have play well in your run defense. Here he is right here, and he really attacks. I think he freelances a little bit within Jim Johnson's system, and you can see right there, he's a big physical middle linebacker, but he's also got speed to be able to get to the corners. And really, to me, for this Eagles defense to have trouble against the run is surprising, because what Jim Johnson does with his scheme and the guys they've got up front, I think they should be much more stout against the run.
3rd down and 9. Out of the shotgun for the first time is Kerry Collins. Gets rid of it and throws it away rather than take the sack. It was Corey Simon putting the pressure on Kerry Collins. He avoided the sack, and 4th down coming up, and Ron Stone, the Giant right guard, slowly getting up.
It looks like he might have done something to his shoulder there, and Ron Stone's going to be working right in here at right guard, and you watch the pressure. Corey Simon working up inside, and Kerry Collins does a nice job of getting rid of the football. One of the things that's being stressed in this game is for him not to take sacks, which is something he could not avoid in their first matchup.
So 4th down, Rodney Williams with a high kick. Brian Mitchell, and the fair catch for Mitchell at about the 9-yard line. But the Eagles doing it defensively, putting pressure on Kerry Collins and maintaining their 7-0 lead early in the 2nd. The Eagles will start from the 9-yard line, and the Giant defense looking to hold Philadelphia here and perhaps get the ball in good field position. Donovan McNabb, consecutive years, over 3,000 yards, joining Sonny Jurgensen, Ron Jaworski, and Randall Cunningham. 1st down from the 9, and the handoff is to Terrell Buckhalter. And Buckhalter is stopped for a 2-yard play.
And here's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. This is Derek Burgess. This is N.D. Kalu. These are 2 defensive ends on the punt team, and this is an area where special teams could be a huge thing. Now, they're getting close. This is the 2nd time that they've punted, and they've been very close both times. Look at Tabidi Davis. That's the type of guy that's going to be blocking on the outside. They're going to be forced to block pass rush defensive end specialists.
2nd down and 12. Deuce Staley into the game now, and McNabb is going to pass to Thrash, and the throw going out of bounds. The Eagle bench calling for pass interference against Will Allen, the rookie from Syracuse, taken on the 1st round. Will Peterson playing the opposite corner, the 3rd round pick.
Yeah, and that was close. Will Allen here working against James Thrash, and some contact going down the field right there. Many thought that they should have called the pass interference, but those one-on-one matchups. These receivers were brought in here this year in order to be able to beat the press man coverage, which is something they were unable to do last year in the playoff game, and Andy Reid would say that that's why they were not successful offensively. Today you're going to see a lot of the same stuff, and those receivers have got to be able to win those matchups.
3rd down and 12 from the 7-yard line, and there is McNabb back at the goal line, and he's going deep downfield, and the pass, and the flag comes Pinkston, being covered by Will Allen, and the flags come now, and the Giants will be hit with a pass interference call, giving the Eagles a 1st down at midfield.
Well, and this time he does get called for the pass interference, that being Will Allen. You take a look here, Pinkston's going to try to go double move over the top with a post. Will Allen covering him, and the contact is made there. And one of the strengths that these coaches for the Giants say that Will Allen has is his ability to play the deep ball, but he did not play it very well on that play.
A 44-yard penalty against Will Allen. And so the Eagles, taking advantage of the Giants' 2 rookie corners, have a 1st down on the Giant 49-yard line. Here is Carell Buckhalter up the middle, and Buckhalter picking up about 3 on the play. Fox tomorrow. Catch performances by some of today's hottest stars and ring in the new year as the ball drops live from Times Square. It's Billboard's Rock and Roll New Year's Eve tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern right here on Fox. The Eagles in front by a score of 7-0 as Donovan McNabb hit Chad Lewis with a 5-yard pass on their first drive of the game. McNabb looking at 2nd down and 8 in the handoff to Deuce Staley, and maybe a yard on the play, setting up 3rd and long.
This is an area that I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have to improve if they're going to make a big push into the playoffs, if they can get there by winning their last 2 games, and that is running the football. Right now, the last few weeks they have not run the football effectively, and we're seeing right now, and the Giants are a good defensive football team against the run, but they have really struggled after some early season success.
They've been using Staley more as a receiver in the last few games than as a runner. 3rd and 7 at the 46, and there you see the diminished running attack by Philadelphia. McNabb with the deep drop. Looking for a receiver, changing direction, trying to ad-lib, and down he goes. Kenny Holmes picking up that 3-yard sack, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, Donovan McNabb had time to throw the football. He got outside of containment, was able to set up. Here you see Todd Pinkston, who he was trying to get the ball to, and Will Allen is all over him. Now you watch Donovan McNabb, and he's looking. He wants to throw the football. Now when he realizes he has nothing, the Giants are there for 2.
And Sean Landeta with a pooch kick, and a good one at that, and it will drop inside the 15-yard line. So Sean Landeta, who will turn 41 next week.
Happy New Year from the Philadelphia Eagles. We'd like to thank our troops for serving our country and protecting our freedom. You are the true heroes. Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year from all of us at Fox on our crew as the Eagles protecting a 7-0 lead. The Giants will have the ball on the 14-yard line. They have struggled offensively thus far. They have punted all but one time they've had the ball. They recovered an Eagle fumble on the 48-yard line and then fumbled it back to Philadelphia, but no damage there. Jason Whittle has replaced Ron Stone at right guard for the Giants. 1st down from the 14-yard line. Pass from Collins, and it is caught up to the 22-yard line, and it's caught there by Marcellus Rivers. And for a game break, let's check in with James Brown in L.A. JB.
Hey, Dick, Pittsburgh failed to clinch home field throughout the playoffs because of this 31-yard field goal by Neil Rackers in overtime as Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh 26-23. Now Pittsburgh will have to hope for an Oakland loss or tie in order to clinch home field. Back to Dick, Troy, and Darryl.
It's not automatic, JB, as the 49ers found out against Dallas, and the Steelers did as well. 2nd down and 2. And the handoff to Ron Dayne, and Paul Grasmanis coming in and making the big play, and he is an outstanding run defender and has played well against the Giants in the past.
Well, you take a look at Grasmanis and what he's able to do, and he's getting his opportunity today, and he's a fiery guy, very competitive, and he plays with a high motor. He's able to get back in there and disrupt things, and that's the thing that stops the running game better than anything is when you're able to get pressure and penetrate beyond the line of scrimmage as Paul was able to there.
3rd down and 3. The Giants on their 21-yard line looking for their first 3rd down conversion. Here is Barber, gets tripped up, runs into his own man, but that's due to the penetration by the Eagle line as Trotter and Emmons will force the Giants to punt from deep in their own territory.
And this is a bad sign for the New York Giants and their fans. The Philadelphia defense, one thing that people have been able to do is run the ball on them. But as Troy pointed out, right now they are penetrating and disrupting the blocking schemes and getting people upfield.
And Brian Mitchell, who has 12 career kick return touchdowns, standing at the 35-yard line, and the Eagles very nearly got a piece of it. And the kick by Rodney Williams, and Mitchell is going to let it bounce. And it is down by the Giants at the 34. N.D. Kalu storming in, very nearly blocked that. N.D. Kalu of the Eagles very nearly blocking Rodney Williams' punt. And the Eagles with a 7-0 lead. Here it is.
Well, N.D. Kalu on the outside loops into the inside. Now, John Harbaugh, the special teams coach, probably saw something on tape during the week and specifically put some stuff in. N.D. has got to take advantage of that opportunity. The Giants will adjust on the sideline. He's not going to get that close again.
The Eagles on the 36-yard line with 6:12 remaining in the first half. Donovan McNabb, who's been very sharp thus far, taking off, and a lot of room to run. McNabb goes out of bounds in Giant territory at the 46-yard line, a gain of 18.
Well, this is the Donovan McNabb that everyone's grown accustomed to seeing, that they've not seen as much of it here in recent games. And every time he comes into a game, the defense game plans in order to keep him in the pocket and contain him. And yet, so far today, the Giants have been unable to do that.
And here comes James Thrash at the end of this play to take a hit on Brandon Short. Now, there's your wide receiver peeling back to hit your strong side linebacker to get you a little bit farther down the field. Nice job, James.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line. McNabb averaged 10 yards a carry in their first meeting. And here's Carell Buckwalter looking to find some running room, and nothing there. And one on the play as Mike Barrow and Jesse Armstead with good extension at linebacker, bringing up a 2nd down and 9 as the clock runs under 5.5 minutes to go in a game in which the Eagles have dominated the Giants, but leading 7-0. McNabb 10 of 13 and a touchdown pass. Buckwalter is the leading rusher, and Chad Lewis tying his season's high already with 5 catches, including the TD reception. Buckwalter remaining in the game at tailback. Over 100 yards more than the Giants have the Eagles gained. Elusive McNabb looking downfield and smartly throws it out of bounds. Mike Barrow chasing the quarterback down, bringing up 3rd and long.
Well, that's just an outstanding job there by Mike Barrow, the middle linebacker for the Giant defense. And you're out there one-on-one like that with an athletic quarterback and Donovan McNabb. We've talked about how he's been able to get outside and break contain. Barrow shadows him there, gives him nowhere to go with the football with his legs, and has to throw it away.
3rd down and 9 for the Eagles, who have been in the division lead for 10 consecutive weeks and trying to nail down their first division title since 1988 today. From the 46 of New York, and the pass thrown underneath, short of the first down, but a flag is thrown at the 40. Jeff Thomason made the reception. And the preliminary signal is against the Giants. It could give the Eagles new life. Sean Williams upset.
Pass interference, 36 defense. Automatic first down.
And it is an automatic first down. So the Giants continue to struggle, and they're struggling on both sides of the ball move.
Well, you make a stop on 3rd down, and all of a sudden here's a penalty that gives the Philadelphia Eagles new life. And you know, these are some of the smaller plays that happen during the course of a football game that nobody remembers, but really demoralize a football team. You can see it right here. Here it is.
And no need to interfere. He catches the ball. The Eagles face with 4th down, but now they have new life. 1st down and 10. And McNabb throwing this one out of bounds, and no one home. And good pass rush that time by Frank Ferreira, little-used Giant defensive lineman.
Well, they're able to get some pressure up inside on Donovan, which is why he has to get rid of the football. He had nowhere to go with it, but they're able to get some hits on Donovan. But I'm impressed with the way Donovan McNabb has hung in there today. We talked about it at the beginning of the game, how this was going to be a defining game for him, and so far he has definitely lived up to the challenge. He is playing very well here in this first half.
10 of 15 for McNabb. 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. Strahan already with 2.5 sacks, and before the play clock runs down, McNabb will use the 2nd timeout for Philadelphia. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Andy Reid, in his 3rd year as head coach, brought the Eagles to the playoffs last year and now looking to win the NFC East. We're looking for the perfect way to ring in the new year, introducing the Best Damn Sports Show, period, with hosts Chris Rose and Tom Arnold and a bunch of ex-jocks. It's the only show that gives you sports comedy, commentary, scores, and highlights. So stay home, avoid the crowds, and check out the Best Damn Sports Show, period, available weeknights only on Fox Sports Net. Well, the Green Bay Packers winning today. As you know, the Rams, the Bears, and the Eagles lead their respective division. So Green Bay and San Francisco right now tied with 11-4 records. That would be the seeding right now. Tampa Bay is in as the 6th seed, and the only way the Giants can get into the playoffs would be to win the division, win the next 2, and have the Eagles drop 2. 2nd down and 10. Eagles with 1 timeout left, and the sack by Michael Strahan. He's got 3.5 today and has set a New York Giant record held by maybe the greatest linebacker of all time.
Well, we talked about how much he dislikes this football team, and here he is again. He does a power move on John Runyon, gets him moving off balance, comes back underneath, and Donovan McNabb had no chance on that play.
Tying Lawrence Taylor and now succeeding LT. And so Strahan's 2nd all-time for a season. Here is McNabb in trouble, stepping up. And Donovan McNabb still on his feet. Looking nimble and with a good throwing arm as well, is down after a gain of 8 yards. And so it'll be 4th down, and Sean Landeta will come on to kick it away. Under 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Dick Stockton with Troy Aikman, Moose Johnston, and Pam Oliver. Landeta will kick, and the Giants looking to get something going before halftime. Tiki Barber back deep, and Landeta, who kicked for the Giants 9 years, and the fair catch called by Barber at the 16.
Similar situation to last week with Seattle, just having very poor field position throughout the course of this game so far. And one of the things that was concerning Jim Fossil as he came in, and it really limits what you can do offensively. And right now, with them being patient and moving the ball and then kicking, they made the Giants start some poor field position again this week.
And of course, the Giants looking to get something on the scoreboard before intermission, and they've been outplayed so far, Troy.
Oh, they've definitely been outplayed. The Eagles have been able to keep the ball. They haven't given very many opportunities to the Giants, and when they've had those opportunities, they haven't taken advantage of them.
So the Giants starting from the 16, and the pass out of the backfield to Barber. Tiki Barber running out of bounds, close to 1st down yardage at the 23-yard line. Giants still have all 3 of their timeouts remaining with under 3 minutes to go in the first half. There is the Giants' offensive story today, and not a pretty one. 48 yards on offense and 55 yards in penalty yardage. 2nd and 2 at the 24. Collins with the pass to Barber underneath. That'll be enough for a Giant first down as we check in with Pam Oliver. Pam.
All right, Dick. Right guard Ron Stone has gone into the Giants locker room. Team doctors have been working on Stone's wrist. He's gone in for x-rays, and his return is questionable. Back to you.
And as we pointed out, when Stone went out, Jason Whittle replaced him at right guard. Stone, a former teammate of you guys at Dallas. First down and an open pass to Tiki Barber finding the open field. He does not get out of bounds. He stays in bounds, and we're winding down to the 2-minute warning after the pickup of 9 yards. Troy Vincent and Derek Burgess making the stop, and the 2-minute warning here at Veterans Stadium. 7-0 Eagles. Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris with scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up to the second stats. So, 2-minute warning, and the Giants facing 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and this is a phase of their game the last 2 weeks where they've been most effective offensively is in their 2-minute no-huddle offense. Many have suggested that they get into that early in the first and second quarters. I don't know if we'll see that today, but we'll get an opportunity here to see how well they executed in this game.
2nd and 1 on the Giant 36. Barber in motion to the right. And here is Kerry Collins, and the pass is caught to the 42. Ike Hilliard, who caught the winning touchdown reception against Seattle last week, gives the Giants a first down. Clock continues to run. The Giants still with 3 timeouts in their pocket.
Yeah, and they're going to a little bit of a sugar huddle here, which means that they're huddling up quickly and getting to the line of scrimmage as fast as they can without having to use a timeout.
Here's the whistle, Jerry Austin. And his pager might have gone off, maybe a call from home. So now the Giants at the line, and the clock starts. They're at the 42. And here is Collins. He's got some time, and the screen pass explodes. He tried to get it to Barber, but Corey Simon was in his face even before the ball got there.
Yeah, Tiki Barber had some traffic to go through right there. First he had to try to get through Hugh Douglas, and then Corey Simon was waiting on him. And you take a look, Tiki Barber taking the fake there. He has to go through Hugh Douglas, and then Corey Simon's there waiting on him. Probably just as well that ball was incomplete so that the clock stopped.
2nd down and 10, 1:29 on the clock. Again, Camella lining up in motion to the right. Pressure and the screen pass to Barber. He's got a blocker in front of him, and Barber getting into the Eagles territory. And Barber goes out of bounds, getting the first down to the Eagles 43. Troy Vincent on the coverage, and the Giants picking up 15 on that play.
Well, that's just a nice job by the New York Giant offense executing the screenplay. And Tiki Barber is so effective. Both he and Deuce Staley for the Eagles run the screen probably as well as any backs in the league. And the reason for that is they're so patient in allowing their blockers to get in front of them.
Barber with 59 yards. The rest of the Giants only 22. So he has been the bulwark for them. 1st and 10 at the 43 of the Eagles. And here is Collins. Collins going downfield, and it's tipped off the hands of Bobby Taylor. Out of bounds, and it stops the clock with 1:15 to go. But the Giants need to get at least 15 yards, it would seem, for a solid field goal attempt with the wind at their backs. The Eagles controlling this game in the number of plays, the yardage, and time of possession. 2nd and 10 on the Philadelphia 43. Collins again to the air. Collins going to Toomer, and Amani Toomer diving, cannot hold on to it. He was covered by the nickel corner for Philadelphia, Al Harris, bringing up 3rd down.
One of the interesting situations, Sean Payton, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, has a little bit of insight into the DBs and some of the areas they struggle in. And one of the things they wanted to do was try and get somebody beyond Al Harris. They felt that they could get the ball down the field over his head. You've seen a couple shots already this afternoon.
Yeah, and that's a play right there. Amani Toomer, in a big game like this, you have to make big plays. Somehow you got to find a way to pull that one in.
3rd down and 10. Again, Camella lining up to the right, and here come the Eagles, and Barber cannot hold on to that screen pass attempt. So the Giants still unable to convert on 3rd down with 1:06 to go, and too far away to attempt a field goal. and Rodney Williams will come on to punt the ball.
Well, you take a look right here, and everybody comes inside, and that leaves Tiki Barber. There is nothing there but grass, and Tiki Barber's going to run for a long way if he's able to bring that one in.
Tiki Barber has been the chief offensive threat as Rodney Williams with the pooch kick. And it goes out of bounds, but Barber dropping that pass on third down and also fumbling for New York earlier. And the Eagles will get the ball back with 1 minute remaining as Williams with the pooch kick, but he didn't pooch it.
Well, that's the second time that he's done that already in this game, and you know, I don't know that it's going to affect them that much right here, but as this game progresses, they're going to need more out of Rodney if they're going to have some success in getting field position, which is such a big part in a game like this.
An interesting thing right there, they had a decision during pregame, both Owen Fochman and Fred Akers kicking that direction. We watched them. They were making field goals that were 60 yards long, but I think with a minute left in the game, if he does miss, boy, you've really given the Philadelphia Eagles a short field to maybe get another field goal.
So a minute remaining in the first half. First down on the 26-yard line. Deuce Staley on the carry, and Staley getting good yardage, picking up nearly 8 yards with under a minute to go. Philadelphia with 1 timeout remaining in the first half, and they have to be more than satisfied with the way this half has gone.
Yeah, well, it appears that way, Dick, because they're in no rush to get the ball snapped again. You see them huddling right there. They are not going into a no-huddle offense. It appears that they're pretty content going in at halftime with a 7-0 lead.
But you can never satisfy his crowd, the tough crowd in Philadelphia, looking for the Eagles to go for more, and McNabb is doing just that, and the pass is intercepted by Will Allen. So the Eagles, who decide not to get conservative, go up top, and Will Allen intercepts the pass a little short, intended for James Thrash, and the Giants get it back now.
What do you think, Troy? You think they were trying to lull him to sleep a little bit there?
I think it was a little trickery. Here you got James Thrash working against Will Allen. They showed that they were going to huddle up, try to, as you mentioned, Moose, lull him to sleep, so to speak. Will Allen does a nice job of staying with James Thrash and making the play.
Well, it'll be interesting here now with only 17 seconds left in the half if the Giants try and move the ball into a long field goal situation because they've got the wind at their back. I think they would need to get to the Philadelphia 42, 43-yard line, which would make that the 60-yard field goal. And we saw Owen Fochman hit it, but they're not going to do it.
No, they're going to take the knee and not try anything fancy themselves. Will Allen with his 4th interception taking over the club leadership, but called for a pass interference, and the Giants, who have a lot to talk about during the intermission, outplayed by the Eagles, but it's only a 1-touchdown game. So that is the end of the first half with the score, the Eagles 7 and the Giants 0. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.